can you get a better rate than what the banks advertise?
It's a good question, Rob.
I think there's two questions there, actually.
I think there is. So look, one's obviously, can you get a better rate? But I think also the question is around, the importance of getting the best rate. So look, we have a bit of a philosophy here in terms of your interest rate. It's certainly an important part of ensuring your loan structure is going to be suitable for what you want to do. But the most important thing is the loan structure itself. And that is understanding what you need not only now, but for the future, and structuring your loan correctly that way, and then going to lenders to find out who's competitive based on that structure. So, rate is certainly important, and getting a great deal will definitely help you, reduce your mortgage and get to your strategy quicker. But rate's not the most important thing. The reason being is the cheapest rate today is not the cheapest rate for the whole life of the loan. As you can see, when the RBA changes their rates, and the cash rate changes, all the banks change their standard variable rates by different amounts. So, whoever's in front at the moment, I can almost guarantee you they won't be in front in 6 months' time, or someone else will bring out a special rate and they'll overtake you. So yes, it's important to look at that point in time, but it's more important to get your structure and your strategy set up so that you know that this structure is going to help you achieve those longer term goals. And rates, is part of that, but probably not the most important thing. Now, answering your actual question itself, can you get a better rate than the banks actually advertise? At the moment, you certainly can. So we're in a very, very competitive environment in terms of lenders and lenders lending money to individuals. So what we've found with a lot of customers that come in, we're able to negotiate a cheaper rate than what the banks currently advertise by asking for a bigger discount. And the reason why they're discounting, like I said, it's a very, very competitive environment. Rates are very low. The type of business the banks are after, they will compete very, very fiercely for it. So, if you walk into a bank and there's an advertised rate, that's generally not what you can get. And like everything in life, if you don't ask, you don't get. So you've got to ask the question, you've got to push them and seek a better deal.
So Marshall, let's talk about, we've got the big four, and they are certainly not the cheapest in town.
Certainly not.
But then we've got people that are advertising interest rates at the moment with a 3 in front of it.
Yep.
But what are you getting and are you not getting with the cheapest rate?
Yeah, so look, there's a lot of the smaller lenders and non-bank lenders will come out with some fantastic rates, which will be mid to high 3s at the moment, which are great. But generally, they will make them only available for certain types of borrowers. So if you don't fit in that category, it may not actually be for you. And depending on what you're trying to achieve, that structure that they will only approve your loan based on, give you that price, may not actually help you in the long term anyway. So for example, what we're seeing is if you are borrowing at 80% of the value of the property and you want to take principal and interest repayments, then you can get some fantastic rates. Now, is that structure going to help you do what you want to do longer term? That's up to you and your structure.
Which could be in means of additional repayments.
Correct, exactly right. So for example, by taking interest only loan and progressively paying more into your offset account, you can potentially build up your equity that way as well, rather than building equity in the property. And then arguably that's a better type of equity because it's available equity, you can use it straight away. Now, if you went to that lender with the P&I repayment only and taking the best rate, you won't actually be able to access that structure to help you do that. So, as I mentioned before, it's very, very, very important to work out what you want long term and put a strategy in place in terms of how you structure your loans to meet that strategy. So, rate certainly is a part of it, but as I mentioned, the cheapest rate today will certainly not be the cheapest rate in the long run. And if you're only ever chasing rate, all you're going to be doing is chasing more work and potentially more fees to undo the structure you currently have.
Yeah, that's right. And
that's
it also means, even with some of the people that have the cheapest rates in town, you're giving up on some everyday luxuries like ATM access.
Spot on. Yep. So
branch locations.
Yep. And then those things. And look, what we have found previously as well with a lot of the cheaper lenders that come out, they'll come out with a fantastic rate initially, and once you're in, you then get what everyone else is getting and some. They'll get you in cheaply, and then when the RBA moves, they don't need to move as much because they've already bought all their customers in terms of giving them cheap rates. Because to be the cheapest in the market all the time isn't sustainable. So it's only a matter of time before you will come back with a pack. If not, be higher again. So you really need to take a step back and take a longer term view on interest rates rather than right now, cheapest deal right now.
It's almost being a victim to loss leading marketing tactics.
Pretty much, yeah. Look, it's that was obviously a large part of the GFC over in America, was a lot of these introductory rates were brought in, and when the rates did go up, a lot of people couldn't afford those loans, and that was on a much larger basis. So it's not to the same extent here by any means, but introductory rates and those sort of things are not something we would suggest you look at, because they're generally getting you in at a low rate, but then eventually they will get their money back. There's no such thing as a free lunch, they say, and there's no, you're not going to be getting the cheapest deal all the time, unfortunately. But it was a great question. We look forward to receiving your questions, and you can post your questions either on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, or you can private message us on Facebook. Send through your questions, and we look forward to answering them.